The sun dipped toward the horizon, casting an amber glow across Bondi Beach. Families were packing up, surfers catching their final waves, and lifeguards signaling the end of the day. John Harris stood knee-deep in the surf, lost in thought as he observed the marine life. His tranquil study was abruptly interrupted when a peculiar shimmer caught his eye just a few meters offshore. "What the hell is that?" he murmured, his curiosity piqued. John, a marine biologist by profession, was no stranger to unusual sightings, but this was different. The shimmer seemed to distort the water around it, an anomaly that demanded investigation. With his snorkel and mask in hand, he waded deeper, each step accompanied by a growing sense of anticipation. As he approached, the shimmering object began to resolve into a defined shape, a sleek, metallic structure that appeared to pulse with a faint blue light. The crowd on the beach started to notice too, whispers of confusion and curiosity rippling through the air. John's heart raced, not with fear but exhilaration. He knew he was on the brink of a significant discovery. The object continued to solidify, revealing itself as an alien craft previously hidden by some form of cloaking technology. John's scientific mind buzzed with possibilities, and he reached out to touch the smooth surface. At his touch, a hatch opened silently, inviting him into its dark interior. Stepping inside, John was enveloped in a cool, dim light. Strange, glowing symbols floated in midair, and the air smelled faintly of ozone. Before he could process it all, a calm, melodic voice broke the silence. "Welcome, human. Do not be afraid." John spun around to see three beings standing before him. They were about 4 feet tall, with large almond-shaped eyes and smooth gray skin. Despite their alien appearance, they exuded an air of calm and friendliness. "We are the Corvians," the leader said, stepping forward. "I am Zara. We have been observing your planet for centuries, always hidden from view. But today, our cloaking device malfunctioned, revealing us to you." John's mind raced. "Why have you been observing us? What do you want?" Zara's expression remained gentle. "We study many worlds, fascinated by the resilience and creativity of different species. Humanity is particularly interesting due to your rapid technological advancements and diverse cultures. We mean no harm. We only wish to learn and, in turn, share our knowledge with you." Back on the beach, the crowd had grown larger, drawn by the mysterious spectacle. Whispers of "what's happening?" and "is that an alien ship?" filled the air. John knew he needed to communicate what he had discovered. "I need to tell others about this," John said, his voice steady despite the enormity of the situation. "Our governments, our scientists, they need to know." Zara nodded. "We understand. You may contact whomever you wish. We will be here, waiting." John exited the craft to a barrage of questions from the crowd. He raised his hands to calm them, explaining as best he could. "This is an alien craft," he said, pointing to the now visible structure. "These beings call themselves Corvians. They've been observing us for centuries. They mean no harm and wish to share their knowledge." The reaction was a mix of awe, fear, and excitement. Some people hurried to take pictures, while others called loved ones or simply stood in stunned silence. News of the discovery spread quickly, and soon, authorities arrived, securing the area and beginning diplomatic communications with the Corvians. As night fell, Bondi Beach transformed into a hub of activity. Scientists, military personnel, and diplomats all converged on the site. The Corvians, true to their word, began to share insights into advanced technology and medical advancements, promising a new era of cooperation and mutual growth. John watched from the sidelines, feeling a profound mix of pride and responsibility. He had stumbled upon something that could change the course of human history. The aliens who thought they were invisible had been caught watching, and now a new chapter was beginning. Before he left for the night, Zara approached him once more. "We have much to share, but time is short," she said, her voice filled with a sense of urgency. "There are others out there who may not be as friendly. We must prepare together." John nodded, understanding the gravity of her words. "We'll be ready," he replied, determination in his voice. John Harris emerged from the alien craft, his heart pounding with excitement and nerves. The beach had transformed into a sea of curious onlookers, all eyes fixed on the shimmering, now visible alien ship. He could feel the weight of their stares, the mix of awe and fear palpable in the air. The crowd parted as he stepped onto the sand, whispers rippling through the throng. "Is it real?" Someone muttered. "What did he see in there?" Another asked. Before John could address the crowd, a line of police officers arrived, securing the perimeter around the craft. The authorities moved with swift efficiency, cordoning off the area and establishing a control point. John found himself face to face with a stern-looking officer. "Dr. Harris," the officer said, his tone brusque, "we need to debrief you immediately. Come with us." John nodded, glancing back at the alien ship. The Corvians stood at the entrance, their serene expressions contrasting sharply with the chaos around them. He followed the officer to a makeshift command center set up a short distance away. Inside the tent, John was met by a team of government officials, scientists, and military personnel. They fired questions at him, their voices overlapping in a cacophony of urgency. "Please, one at a time," John said, raising his hands to calm them. "The beings I met inside the craft call themselves the Corvians. They claim to have been observing us for centuries and mean no harm. Their cloaking device malfunctioned, which is why we can see them now." A scientist stepped forward, her eyes alight with curiosity. "What kind of technology did they show you?" John hesitated, choosing his words carefully. "I only saw a small portion, but it's far beyond anything we have. They've offered to share some of their knowledge, but we need to approach this carefully." A murmur of agreement spread through the tent. The head of the security detail, a grizzled man with a stern expression, spoke next. "We need to ensure they're not a threat. We can't take their word at face value." John nodded. "I understand your concerns, but we should also consider the potential benefits. Their advancements could revolutionize medicine, technology, and more." As discussions continued, John's mind raced. He knew the Corvians' intentions seemed genuine, but the skepticism of those around him was warranted. They had to proceed with caution, balancing curiosity with vigilance. Outside, the Corvians began to interact with the crowd. Zara, the leader, projected a calm presence, her voice soothing as she addressed the onlookers. "We understand your fear. We come in peace and wish only to learn and share." The crowd slowly began to calm, their initial fear giving way to curiosity. Some people stepped forward, asking questions, while others kept their distance, watching warily. Back in the tent, John was interrupted by a sudden commotion outside. A man pushed through the crowd, shouting, "They're hiding something! We can't trust them." The tent flap flew open, and a man with wild eyes and a disheveled appearance burst in. "You're all fools if you think these aliens are our friends." John stepped forward, raising his hands. "Please, calm down. We're still learning about them. We need to give this a chance." The man glared at him. "How do you know they're not planning to invade? What if this is just the beginning?" Before the situation could escalate, the police intervened, escorting the man away. John took a deep breath, the weight of the situation pressing heavily on his shoulders. He turned back to the officials. "We need to establish a formal dialogue with the Corvians," he said firmly. "Let's bring them in and start a proper discussion." Reluctantly, the officials agreed. Moments later, Zara and her companions were escorted into the tent. The atmosphere was tense, the air thick with unspoken questions and lingering distrust. Zara spoke first, her tone measured and calm. "We understand your concerns. We come with open hands, not weapons. Our goal is mutual understanding and growth." A scientist leaned forward, curiosity overcoming caution. "What can you offer us?" Zara gestured to one of her companions, who produced a small, glowing device. "This is a medical scanner. It can detect and diagnose illnesses at a cellular level, far beyond your current capabilities." The room fell silent, the implications sinking in. John watched as the officials exchanged glances, the potential of such technology undeniable. The security chief broke the silence, his tone gruff but less hostile. "We'll need to test this technology ourselves. If it works as you say, it could save countless lives." Zara nodded. "We are willing to cooperate." All we ask is that you approach this with an open mind and a willingness to learn. As the meeting continued, the initial tension began to ease. The Corvians' calm demeanor and willingness to share their knowledge slowly won over the skeptics. By the time the sun set over Bondi Beach, the foundations of a tentative alliance had been laid. John stepped out of the tent, feeling a mixture of relief and apprehension. The journey ahead would be fraught with challenges, but it also held the promise of unprecedented discoveries. As he looked back at the alien craft, now bathed in the soft glow of dusk, he knew this was only the beginning. The beach, once a symbol of tranquility, had become the stage for an extraordinary chapter in human history. And John Harris, marine biologist turned interstellar liaison, stood at the center of it all, ready to navigate the unknown waters ahead. The day's events had been a whirlwind, but the real work was just beginning. As John walked towards the Corvians, a newfound determination settled within him. Together, they would bridge the gap between worlds, forging a path towards a future that was both exciting and uncertain. "Ladies and gentlemen," John began, his voice steady despite his racing heart, "the Corvians have come to share their knowledge with us. We have an unprecedented opportunity to learn from each other." A murmur ran through the crowd as Zara stepped forward, her presence both calming and authoritative. "We bring advancements in medicine, technology, and sustainable energy. Our intention is to assist, not interfere." John watched as a few individuals nodded, their expressions softening. However, not everyone was convinced. A man near the front crossed his arms, his face twisted in distrust. "Why should we believe you? What do you get out of this?" Zara met the man's gaze without flinching. "Our motives are simple. We seek knowledge and cooperation. Your resilience and ingenuity have intrigued us. We believe our alliance can benefit both our species." As Zara spoke, John couldn't help but admire her diplomatic finesse. She had a way of disarming hostility with calm logic. But he knew words alone wouldn't sway everyone. He stepped forward, holding up a small, sleek device the Corvians had provided. "This," John explained, "is a medical scanner capable of detecting diseases at their earliest stages, even before symptoms appear. Imagine the lives we could save." He demonstrated the device on a willing volunteer, a young woman who had recently undergone treatment for a persistent illness. The scanner emitted a soft hum and a series of lights, and within moments, it provided a detailed health report. The crowd watched in awe as the woman read the results, her eyes widening in relief. "Everything's clear," she said, her voice shaking with emotion. "It's like a miracle." The demonstration had the desired effect. The mood shifted, curiosity and hope replacing some of the initial fear. Yet, the undercurrent of skepticism remained, a reminder of the fragile trust that had yet to be fully earned. John spent the next few hours with Zara, fielding questions from both scientists and laypeople. The Corvians shared insights into their energy solutions, which could potentially revolutionize Earth's approach to sustainability. The discussions were intense but productive, a blend of technical jargon and layman-friendly explanations. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a golden hue over the beach, John felt a rare sense of optimism. Perhaps this could work after all. But just as he allowed himself a moment of hope, a sharp, crackling noise filled the air. The Corvian ship's lights flickered, and the hum of their technology grew erratic. Zara's expression turned grave. "There's a malfunction," she said, her voice calm but urgent. "We need to address this immediately." Panic rippled through the crowd. John sprang into action, his mind racing. "What can I do to help?" Zara led him back to the ship, where a panel emitted sparks. "We need to stabilize the core. Follow my instructions precisely." John nodded, his hands moving quickly yet carefully under Zara's guidance. The task was complex, involving alien technology he barely understood, but he focused on Zara's calm, clear direction. Sweat beaded on his forehead as the seconds ticked by, the pressure mounting with each passing moment. The situation inside the ship contrasted starkly with the chaos outside. Beachgoers scattered, and authorities scrambled to maintain order. John's mind raced as he worked, the stakes feeling impossibly high. He knew failure wasn't an option, too much depended on this fragile alliance. After what felt like an eternity, The core stabilized, the erratic hum subsiding into a steady rhythm. John let out a breath he hadn't realized he was holding, meeting Zara's relieved gaze. "We did it," he said, the words feeling almost surreal. Zara nodded, her expression softening. "Thank you, John. Your quick thinking saved us." As they exited the ship, the tension outside slowly dissipated. The crowd's panic ebbed, replaced by a tentative calm. John addressed them, his voice steady and reassuring. "The situation is under control. The Corvians have proven they are here to help, not harm. Let's give them a chance." The crowd's response was cautious but hopeful. Trust wouldn't be built overnight, but this was a start. John knew there were many challenges ahead, but he also saw the potential for something incredible. As the night deepened, John stood with Zara, looking out over the now quiet beach. "This is just the beginning," he said, his voice filled with a mix of determination and hope. Zara nodded. "Yes, it is. Together, we can achieve great things." The sky above Bondi Beach was painted in shades of pink and orange as dawn broke, casting a serene glow over the gathering crowd. The previous night's chaos had subsided, leaving an air of cautious optimism. John Harris, now a key figure in the unfolding events, stood beside Zara, the Corvian leader who had become an unlikely ally. The alien craft, now fully visible, hovered gently above the water, its sleek design a marvel to the onlookers. John took a deep breath, feeling the weight of responsibility and the potential for a brighter future. "We've managed to stabilize the device," Zara explained, her voice calm but with a hint of urgency. "But there's still much work to be done." John nodded, his mind racing with the implications of their discovery. "People are starting to see the benefits of your knowledge," he said. "But we need to address the skepticism and fear. Transparency is crucial." Zara's eyes, large and expressive, met his. "Agreed. We do not wish to overwhelm your people." As they spoke, a group of scientists and government officials approached. Dr. Emily Carter, a prominent physicist, took the lead. "Mr. Harris, Zara, we need to discuss the integration of Corvian technology into our systems. This could revolutionize our medical and energy sectors." John glanced at Zara, who gave a subtle nod. "Let's start with a demonstration," John suggested. "Show them what your technology can do in a controlled environment." Within an hour, a makeshift laboratory was set up on the beach. Zara and her team of Corvians brought out a small, handheld device. It glowed with a soft blue light, emitting a hum that resonated with a comforting frequency. "This is a medical scanner," Zara explained. "It can diagnose and treat minor ailments instantly." She pointed it at a volunteer who had a minor cut on his arm. The device scanned the wound, and within seconds the cut closed, leaving no trace of injury. The crowd gasped in awe. Dr. Carter's eyes widened with excitement. "This could change everything," she murmured. "Imagine the implications for emergency medicine for remote areas." But not everyone was convinced. A voice from the back of the crowd shouted, "How do we know this isn't some kind of trick? What if they're just using us for their own gain?" John stepped forward, raising his hands to calm the crowd. "I understand your concerns," he said, his voice steady. "But the Corvians have been nothing but transparent with us. They've shared their knowledge freely and have asked for nothing in return. We have to give them a chance." The tension in the air eased slightly, but John knew the road ahead would be fraught with challenges. As the day progressed, more demonstrations followed. The Corvians showed their advancements in energy production, capable of providing clean and limitless power, and agricultural techniques that could end world hunger. John observed as people's skepticism gradually turned into curiosity and hope. The Corvians' technology was undeniably transformative, and the potential benefits were too significant to ignore. Yet, he remained vigilant, aware that acceptance would take time and patience. In the evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, John and Zara found a quiet moment by the water. The day's events had been exhausting but fruitful. "You've done well, John," Zara said softly. "Your people are beginning to trust us." John sighed, staring at the waves. "It's a start. But we have to keep proving ourselves every day. There's still a lot of fear and uncertainty." Zara placed a gentle hand on his shoulder. "We understand. Trust is earned, not given. We are here to help, not to harm. As they spoke, a group of children approached, their eyes wide with wonder. One of them, a young girl with curly hair, looked up at Zara and asked, "Are you here to stay?" Zara knelt down to the girl's level, smiling warmly. "We hope to be your friends for a long time. We have much to learn from each other." The girl grinned, her innocence and curiosity a stark contrast to the skepticism of the adults. It was a small moment, but to John, it symbolized the beginning of a new era. An era where humans and Corvians could coexist and thrive together. That night, as John lay in his bed, he couldn't help but feel a sense of cautious optimism. The journey was far from over, but they had taken a significant step towards a better future. He closed his eyes, the sounds of the ocean lulling him to sleep, his mind filled with visions of the possibilities that lay ahead. In the morning, he awoke to a message from Zara. "John, we have detected something unusual. We need your help immediately."